Hello everyone. In this video I am taking up the topic evolution, which is a new topic added in class 10th ICSE. This topic is also there in 10th CBSE, but I'll be making a separate video because there are concepts which are different in both the topics. So this is basically for class 10th ICSE, a new chapter which is added in. Before starting my video, I'll just take a few minutes or few seconds of yours. I just want you people to know that there are like 1500 plus subscribers, and a very thanks to all of you, the ones who have subscribed to the channel. But still, I just guess that you people have not hit on the bell icon which is there underneath the videos. When you hit it, whenever I upload the video, you get a notification and you are able to see the video. So please, it's a humble request, if you please will click that bell icon so that notifications come to you, and whenever there is a new video uploaded, you get to know and you can benefit from that video. Okay, now starting up with the video. In this video we'll be dealing up with the first topic of the chapter, that is the theory of inherited acquired characters by this Lamarck. Inheritance of acquired characters by Lamarck. There are two theories given, but in this video we'll be discussing one. For the other one, I'll be making a new video. Now, starting up with the chapter evolution. Now, first of all, there is just a simple concept in which you must know that how does life started on Earth. There are multiple theories which were given to explain this, that how the life started, in which it's sometimes it says that started from non-living things, sometimes it started from a single molecule, or sometimes it started from sea, or some whatever it is. There are multiple theories, but there were two theories which were greatly accepted, which told us that how the organisms, they developed generation after generation, and present organisms, how are they evolved and how are they into being nowadays. Now there were two theories which were accepted, that were Lamarck's theory of inheritance of acquired character and Darwin's theory of natural selection. Now we'll be dealing up with Lamarck's theory of natural selection. Both these theories, they state only one thing, that how the organisms, they developed and acquired the characters which they presently have, and how does that development took place, and what are the various proofs which prove them that okay fine, this was there, this happened in the past. Now starting up with the first, now I have just made a gist of all this. First is the definition of evolution. How will you define evolution? Evolution is a slow and gradual changes or acquiring of certain characters by individuals, which led to formation of complex organisms from simpler ones. If I simplify this definition, it states that within a due course of time, the organisms which had much simpler characters, they have attained certain new characters according to the environment outside, and they have evolved to form a complex organism. That means the life started from the simplest of all organisms. Okay, this is all about evolution. Evolution means, अगर मैं simple सी, if I'll explain in a simple language, it says that how did a small unicellular organisms divided and redivided, how did it become a multicellular organism, and what were the changes, what were the gradual changes which occurred on in those organisms which have made them the present man, or the present organisms which are there on the surface of Earth. Now, to explain this, to explain the process of evolution, two theories were given. One, the inheritance of acquired characters given by Lamarck, and theory of natural selection given by Darwin. Here in this video, we will be discussing about the various concepts, or the theory first of all given by Lamarck, which states inheritance of acquired characters. First of all, I'll explain you the definition. Now the definition states that, for example, an organism is living on in a particular habitat. Now there is a change in that habitat. Suppose it's like it was a pond of warm water, but now the temperature of that pond has increased. So what all organisms are living in that pond? the organisms which will be able to survive that hotness of the pond will survive, and the ones which will not be able to adapt themselves to that hot environment will die off. Okay, so Lamarck stated that whenever there was a change in the outside environment, there were some characters which were incorporated by the organisms in them. When those organisms passed to the next generation and further the next generation, that means that chain that followed, that character came in the next to next generation, was there in the genes of the organisms, then that character was considered as inheritance, passage of that acquired character. Whatever character was acquired by that organism has been passed to the next generation. This was explained in this theory. Now, to explain his theory, he gave different facts. Now, first of all, his basic concept of inheritance of acquired characters was based on the study of fossils. He studied multiple fossils. Okay, when he started studying the fossils, now he started making a chain. That okay, fine, this was the organism which was there in the past, and then he found a fossil, then again, and when he tried to link those fossils, he could make out a certain change in the body structure of the organism. That means the organism must have acquired a character during a phase of time, which then passed on to the next generation, was inherited in them. That acquired character, whatever was acquired by organism, was inherited in them. Now, an example of giraffe is quoted by Lamarck, and which is a very good and very simple and very common example which was given by Lamarck. Now, he stated that giraffe earlier were they didn't have that long neck. They were normal animals with those short necks. But what happened? The land vegetation started dying off, and now the leaves of the plant were like gradually increasing in height. The leaves were there on the lower part of the tree, then middle layer and all. It's gradually vegetation, it started changing. The amount of vegetation or the type of vegetation started changing. So according to it, that in order to survive, giraffe had to push, or you can say pull himself so that he can reach the topmost part of the tree and eat those leaves. So slowly and gradually the neck of giraffe was like it extended, and hence finally the present day giraffe came into form, and those character of elongated neck were passed on from one generation to other, and then the present giraffe is having those characters. It is a very good example in which it is shown that how an acquired character becomes inherited. How that character which we acquire during our lifetime, when it passes to our next progeny, it is the character which is there in the genes of the organism. Now, after giving this example of giraffe, he just stated a few things on the basis of which he based his theory. The first was the theory of use and disuse. He stated that some of the organs which are, or the parts of the body which were used to a large extent, they extended and they were passed to the next generation. For example, giraffe's neck, the neck, length of the neck, that particular character was passed on to generation. That means it was used that much that it has to be passed to the next generation. And disuse, there were certain parts of the body which were not used at all, and were like with the passage of time, with the passage of the generations, those organs, they shrinked, or you can say they were not used at all, and hence finally they became vestigial organs. We'll discuss about that later. Then this was use and disuse. The organs which were used into a large extent developed and were inherited to the next generation. The organs which were not used, the parts which were not used, they became vestigial or were not there in the body of organism. Then is inheritance of acquired characters, which I have already explained you, that the characters, like for example, giraffe's example was there, or you can say there are multiple other examples, like for example these snakes were they had those feet, you can say, for moving, but slowly and gradually when they came on the they became whole altogether terrestrial, what happened, those limbs they were degenerated, they were not at all used, and instead rings formed under the skin of the snake, and hence they can crawl on the surface of earth. Then were vestigial. The last part which is explained is vestigial organs. What do you mean by vestigial organs? First of all, those parts of the body which in the past were functional, but now they are not functional because they are not used at all in our body. Like for example, in humans we have two very common examples, three actually. One is vermiform appendix. Appendix, you must have heard that there is a surgery of appendix and all. Appendix is a vestigial organ which is there inside in our body. When the large intestine it ends up into a sac-like tubular small structure known as balloon-like structure actually, that is known as appendix. Appendix was earlier, in past it was there, it was functional in our body because we used to eat those grass, and our ancestors used to eat grass and all. So in order to digest it, that vermiform appendix was very much functional. But as the time passed, we started cooking the food and all, and that appendix it does not have any function now. So it has become a vestige. It's there inside the body, but it's non-functional. Then we have these pinna. Then it's a vestigial organ in our body. It is an outgrowth and earlobe, and it is not functional now. It's not performing any function. It's there actually, but not performing any specific function, just collects the sound waves and moves them inside. Then nictitating membrane. What is nictitating membrane? You must have seen birds. They don't blink their eyes. If you see them carefully, there's just a membrane which just comes over their eye and then moves off. That is known as nictitating membrane. They don't have eyelids. They have nictitating membrane. So in humans also, that nictitating membrane has shrunk, and these eyelids are now very much functional, and that shrunk nictitating membrane is here, it's present here. So these are vestigial organs which were there in use, but now they are not used at all. This was all about the topic inheritance of acquired characters given by Lamarck, also known as Lamarckism. In my next video, I'll be taking up the theories of Darwin, stating theories of natural selection. Thanks all for looking the videos, liking them, subscribing them, and commenting also. That helps me a lot, keeps me going. Thanks a lot.